All right. This is Grandfather. Well, I know you were worried I was never going to make another video. But we're going to make a short one here. Okay? And granted, it might be a bit of a goodbye one, but it will be here for you. Many of you have followed for a long time what old Grandfather had to say here, with this and that suggestion and this and that prediction. But today I want to talk to you about doing things yourself in your own way. This year coming up, 2020 as it's called, in your calendar, will be one that is significant for you all. At the end of this year, many of you will look around at your friends and family or in the mirror and say, or think, or feel, this year I really felt like I was being myself. And that's what you need to do. It's not a year to follow, just to be part of the group. If you feel that you have something to offer, and especially if it's benevolent, meaning good and kind, all right, then give it a try. You might find that there'll be others that'll team up with you and say, yes, let's. So, you might have to give it more than one try, but don't give up. You'll find that this year will present opportunities that might look like disasters. And by disasters, I mean personal ones. Something that went completely the opposite of what you had hoped to be. But then, maybe some of those hopes were based on wishes, hopes, and dreams. And it's all right to have those. But sometimes you don't know that you can have something better because you might not recognize it as being better at first. But within a short time, you notice that there's qualities about it that had never occurred to you that could be part of your life. So, I want to suggest then that there might be surprises this year that will work in your personal favor, talking to you as individuals. So, look forward to that. There's also going to be opportunities to help others in ways that had never occurred to you before. Maybe just by being yourself, you might just discover that there's things that other people need that you find very easy and uncomplicated to do just because it's simple for you. Just like things that are difficult for you, some other people might find just as easy as can be. So be prepared to cooperate more and compete less. That's very important. This whole thing about competition has gotten way out of hand. Originally, people really felt a kindred spirit amongst all. After all, in the early days of the human being on earth, you needed each other. You needed to know that somebody had your back or was at either side of you so that you could survive, find water that you could drink, food that you could eat, and learn step by step not only how to get along, because that's the easy part, it was then, but how you could get along with each other, yes, yes, but get along in the world as it is. The world is getting a little too complicated these days. Sometimes technology and science create things because they can, because it's exciting, because it seems so wonderful. But in fact, the idea of doing certain things, especially things that are possible scientifically, but are really calamitous, all right, a calamity, a terrible thing, in the long run. Such things are happening now. Who would have thought that just a few years ago you could break down water, H2O as they say, chemistry-wise, and burn it? 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atom. They break it down into its component parts and burn it. And say, oh, there's so much water on the planet. Oh, there'll always be enough, but you keep burning it, and there won't be enough. I'm going to suggest that you don't need to burn water, all right? Trust that a lot of oil wells that seem to be dry will be able to pump again, and you'll have all the gasoline and all the hydroelectric power and all the electricity you need for all your devices that you love to use, like your phones and maybe your computers and even your new electric cars. Life can be a good thing. Try to set aside those scientific things that are wondrous and just say, well, that's pretty amazing, but let's not do that. All right? Fracking is another one. You don't really need to do that. And it's polluting underground waters. So I brought these things up before. I just want to say this. All right? I have a great deal of faith in those of you who've studied these videos and have learned a thing or two and can put some things into effect. If you can read the Benevolent Magic blog from the beginning and study there, go ahead. If you can read the A Mystical Man's World blog, known as mysticalman.blogspot.com, read that from the beginning. Sometimes it's just stories, little adventures. Other times it's really advanced training. So those of you who can do that, do that. Watch the videos first from the beginning. Everything builds on the other. The videos build one at a time on each other. And things that may seem to be impossible to do, if you just join in later, it's because the steps to learn how to do it came in earlier videos. Start with the first one and watch them and see if there isn't something that is interesting to you. It's the same on the blogs. All right? One of the blogs has a lot of videos, and that's explorerrace.blogspot.com. Look at it from the beginning and go forward. All right? So, one more thing. It's a time of friends. Many of you will be discovering new friends this year. That's why it's so important to be yourself, so that your new friends will recognize you. You'll recognize something in them if they're being themselves. Plan on it. Do a good job. help each other, you'll be able to get through these times. It's young people I'm especially talking to. All right? But older people and elders, the same goes for you. Good life.